It's the fact that you pulled away. This is the Nostaljunk Podcast, where one person's junk is another person's childhood. I'm Matt McGraw.
And I'm Kyle Smith. Join us as we take a deep dive into your pop culture consciousness. But yeah, welcome back to the Nostaljunk Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Kyle Smith, joined always by
Matt.
just Matt. And yeah, so last week, man, I made it through, Matt. I made it.
What do you mean made it through? It wasn't like it was that atrocious.
It was it wasn't atrocious. It was a voyage through confusion. Watching it again, listening to the podcast back, I can see how now, like watching it for the second time, I could remember certain scenes, and I can definitely understand why that would be such a memorable movie and something you kind of would go back to as a kid and just laugh at, and just because it's how silly it is, you know?
Well, it's completely entertaining. Like, the entire time. It's not that it's boring. It's that it's wacky, and it's all over the place. And as an adult, maybe watching it for the first time, you find yourself going, what is going on?
Yeah, maybe because I'm an adult, I couldn't... maybe I was. You think about it too much now as an adult watching a movie. Maybe there's something interesting about that. Maybe that I couldn't give myself completely over it. Like a kid just would be watching some kind of random spectacle.
It is random, that's for sure. Yeah, because you and I, when we did our first episode, we talked about movies, and I had said that The Goonies was in my top 5. The Goonies allows you to be a kid again.
Yeah.
Right? So This movie is from my childhood. That doesn't necessarily make you be a kid again, but because it's from my childhood, I can't help but channel those nostalgic moments.
Exactly.
That take you back to your childhood.
Exactly.
Anyway, here we go.
Wait, I just want to give, before we get started, I do want to give a couple shout outs to some people.
Do it.
One, Sandy Gallant, a guy, I actually used to work with this guy, but he wrote us on Facebook and said, but this is going back to our TV episodes, our TV episode we did a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And he mentioned one of his favorite shows was The Wonder Years.
Oh, wow.
I know, and I saw that and I'm like, you win. Like that show is pure. It's like evokes nostalgia. It's about nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very... It's funny that you put it that way, because the show itself is nostalgic because it's narrated
by his adult self, remembering the stories of his... Yeah, so great pick, Sandy. Love
Excellent.
That show is amazing, obviously. And another shout out, we do have our first, I believe, international listener. One of my oldest friends, Paul, listening all the way from Australia. So yeah,
kudos, Paul.
I know, international now.
Yeah, we down under. Forgive me. Recently, we ran a couple of spots that you might have heard. Some friends of ours with the Facing Off podcast, where they pit one movie against another and see which one kind of comes out as the winner.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
I'm
it's great.
Always down for stuff like that.
So well, let's get the show rolling.
Yeah. What are we talking about this week?
Toys.
Man, I remember when I was like, I'm trying to think back how far I can remember just like my room in the basement of my house. And like you had a toy box? Remember having a toy box?
Brother, so many.
I remember I had even this like old school, like hand-me-down rocking horse, like with the spring, not completely made of wood, but had like these springs. It was all rickety and it squeaked.
Yes,
and like the body was didn't have any legs, but it was
it was a metal frame with the springs. Yeah. And the horse itself was a plastic horse that you might have seen on like a Christmas display out front. Not completely safe by any means looking back, but yeah, it was. I had one.
I had one of those.
Yeah, wicked. Nice. Wicked.
Our 5 favorite kind of toys that best kind of evoke.
It's tough. Yes, but let's do it.
It's a tough one. Yeah,
it is a tough one because again, toys have life cycles depending on your age.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, what toy were you most attached to throughout the entirety, or the one that brings you the biggest amount of joy from a nostalgic perspective?
A lot of these lists, I try to go kind of mostly just on instinct, maybe. Like, just kind of not overthink it, and maybe through that you find the most meaningful things. So, for my first toy, or toys, line of toys.
Oh, baby.
I'm going to go Transformers.
Wow.
Yeah. Just something that I remember playing. Remember the Transformers used to have the heat sensitive stickers you used to rub your finger on your thumb on, and it would tell you if it was a Decepticon or
so good.
But man, I just loved like Optimus Prime, and it's so weird that he was a transport he was just a big transport truck, but you could just like put them together and all the accessories and for that sticker though, it still sticks in my mind as something that was just so cool to do, and I would have endless entertainment just rubbing my thumb on it to try to get the picture. That sounds bad. It sounds dirty. Just so cool to do, and I would have endless entertainment just rubbing my thumb on it to try to get the picture. Have endless entertainment just rubbing my thumb on it.
No. Listen, that's that era. That was the gimmick that sold the toy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Right? Like that was for you. That was that thing that you're like, oh my god, look what it does. Right? But we didn't have anything else to distract ourselves with. So no wonder a toy with a sticker that changes color was our occupier for the day.
The cartoon also was amazing to watch, the TV show, and also I mean, like all I need to say is let's play fill in the blank, Matt. Okay, you ready?
Okay, go.
Transformers.
Boy, the beats the eye.
Exactly. There you go. See, perfect. Like that's such a memorable hook, such a memorable song.
Most certainly. Yeah. Well, think of the influence of Transformers on other toys that came out afterwards, which I'm actually going to touch on right now. Number 5 for me. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because just think of the Zords, the Megazord. There's Transformers transforming into a new era's relevancy.
For sure.
Yeah. It was actually the largest Christmas toy of 1994.
Wow.
Which is right at the height of my, I still want some cool toys.
Yeah, for sure.
I was born in 85, so...
you would have been 9, yeah.
Yeah, that's right in that point of not quite a teen, just crossing over, but man, those toys were too cool to say no to.
Man, I was full on teen. I was 14 at that point, 94, wow. 5 years?
But you still wanted them.
Yeah, that's funny you say that though, like, because you were probably still, that like... You were mentioning to me before about the Wish book. Remember the Wish book?
Oh,
looking
dude.
through, marking all your toys off.
Leading into that Christmas season of shopping, the paraphernalia that comes with that season makes you so happy to be a kid when you see that catalog come out or that lineup of here's what's coming out in the next couple months. It was just enough time for you to fall in love with it, get obsessed over it, tell your parents. Add it to Santa's list.
I remember I would sit at my kitchen table just by myself at night, no one else around, only the kitchen table light on, and I would just look through that wish book and just dream.
Dude, that is magic. I wish I had a wish book right now. Every page had different panels, like there were the Batman toys and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters and and my beloved wrestling figure collection, like all of those sections. They had their own page and you flipped and you were like, oh my god, each time. Anyway, wish books definitely help propel your obsession with toys for in that era. Hey Kyle.
Yo.
What's number 4?
It's HeMan, Masters of the Universe.
Wow.
And that's going back super far for me. Because, I don't even know when that would
God, you're ancient.
I know. 5 years. This is a lot, though. Like, especially, remember when we were in high school and someone was 5 years younger than you? You're like, little baby.
Yep. That is not your person. By the way, I'm pouring myself some wine.
Oh, very nice.
And Kyle's enjoying himself some Garrison Tall Ship.
Garrison Tall Ship. I think I consider it to be the finest East Coast beer ever made.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it. That's my statement. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. I almost cheers the mic.
It falls over. Podcast over.
All right.
He-Man, Masters of the Universe. Yeah, what I remember most had those great toys. Remember the full-scale Castle Grayskull and Skull Mountain? Like the big, like almost, you could just, and then you buy the little action figures to like roam around through it. I remember Castle or Skull Mountain had that little it was like a styrofoam. Was it styrofoam? Yeah, something like a foam quicksand thing that you could stick the people in, and they'd fall through like to their deaths.
Oh,
man.
dude.
And obviously the TV show was big, Battle Cat. And then She-Ra. I wasn't into She-Ra too much, but yeah, by the power of Grayskull.
There you go.
Classic.
Yeah, that's iconic. And again, it wasn't my thing. So Transformers, He-Man, they weren't my thing, but I'm totally aware of the toys more than the show.
Yeah.
I had Skeletor and He-Man.
Skeletor is an awesome design too. Yeah, look at those figures. Look at Skeletor. He's awesome.
Yeah, Skeletor is the
yellow skull face.
Looking at that, do you not see Shredder?
And also, they appear to be the same body. Like,
well, of course.
Just replace the heads.
Just a different coat of paint, my friends.
Oh, you see Shredder and Skeletor? Yeah,
the purple, the shoulder pads.
Yeah, the shoulder pads. You're right.
The villain.
That's true.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll talk about Shredder in a sec. Spoiler.
Most certainly we will. In fact, that's my number 4.
Hey!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Those toys were incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do a joint. Oh, no. Okay, you're doing number 4, yeah. Because that's my number 3. I'll just spoil it right now. Let's do a joint Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles discussion.
Yeah, Turtles. It was very, very cool. I had the pizza thrower.
Oh, man, the pizza
That was
thrower.
like a caravan that you loaded them into.
Oh, yeah.
And it would throw pizzas out of the front of it.
Little discs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. They weren't little discs, my
They were
friend.
little pizzas.
They were little pizzas.
I got you. Yeah.
All of the figures, the extension of the universe that was created in the TV shows, and then later the movies, amazing.
Mm-hmm. After the movie, I think it was 1990, maybe, the first Ninja Turtles movie came out. And it was such a huge movie and got me into the Turtles at that time. And I found the graphic novels just by pure interest. But did you ever read any of those graphic novels? Like
They're
the
incredibly
original?
violent.
It's so violent and so different from what the Turtles turned out to be. And I still have. I bought 4 of them all at once, and it was like volume 1, I forget. But yeah, I have a number 1 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel, like the origin story graphic novel.
No way.
I love it. I still go back to it. But yeah, it's really awesomely drawn, really violent. Strange that all 4 of them had like red bandanas, but they still had, all the characters were intact, all the same names. But yeah, incredibly violent. Such a, I don't know, very distinct vision that was, just went a completely different direction once they realized they could, we should probably market this to kids and make millions of dollars.
The packaging alone.
Look at that logo.
Brother.
Yeah.
That logo is iconic.
Very iconic, yeah. The Turtles font with it's like almost the shell design for the letters. So recognizable.
So the variations of the Turtles figures were incredible as well.
I remember those cheap costumes way, way back when all it was just a cheap plastic kind of like tarp. And then the really cheap mask with the single elastic band that would just hold it on. I had definitely had a Turtles.
They were always sharp around the edges. So like you'd put the mask on.
Hurt your nose.
And it would be cutting into you.
Yeah.
But you're like, man, it feels so cool in this. Yeah.
But yeah, who's your favorite turtle?
Favorite turtle?
I got mine. I'll always be. Well, maybe it's changed. But when I was a kid, I did have a definite favorite.
We all did. My favorite turtle was Donatello.
Donatello?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's lame. He's only got the staff. Michelangelo has nunchucks, man. 2 nunchucks.
I'm aware. But you know why Donatello was my pick?
Why?
Purple.
Oh, you like purple? That's the reason?
Yeah.
Okay.
I identified with the color.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I cared that it was orange, but man, I just loved Michelangelo's nunchucks. I think that's why I liked them.
Yeah.
But obviously now, as an adult, thinking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo is the man. He's the leader, and he's got samurai. He's got 2 samurai.
I'm starting to identify now in my 30s more with Raphael. Like, I am now upset more with the world than I am with fixing it.
That's interesting too, though, because the movie gave them very distinct personalities.
Most certainly.
Like, actually well thought out personas.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if that existed in the graphic novels. Now that I'm thinking, I have to read them again, maybe to try to maybe look for some subtext. But yeah, you had Raphael, that was kind of like the stubborn thug.
Yeah.
You had Michelangelo, that was like the party guy that just always wanted to eat pizza. Donatello was kind of the intellectual. Mm-hmm. And Leonardo was obviously the wise.
He was the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Aside from Splinter.
Well, Splinter, yeah.
But
oh yeah, we didn't even talk about like Splinter and Shredder.
Shredder is
The Foot Clan?
Dude, Shredder is one of the ultimate villains.
I would say so for sure, yeah. But I was just realizing now that he kind of very Darth Vader-esque.
Oh, most certainly.
The full face mask, the whole garb.
Yeah, so Turtles. So that was my number 4. That's your number.
That was my number 3. That was my next one. Yeah.
All right.
So that was pretty good.
Well, that's that then. Okay, cool. Moving right along.
So your number 3.
My number 3. The real Ghostbusters.
This is crazy, scary what's going on right now, because we're just going to continue on with the trend, because my number 2. Oh. So we're kind of off by 1, but yes, let's discuss. So obviously, yes, the real Ghostbusters.
Because of the movie, anything Ghostbusters. Oh, hey-oh, he's...
Did you hear that, folks? Now we're on to some Two Crows. Lies? Table beer.
Yeah, that's a fine local draft.
Of course. But yeah, no... yeah, the show, I wasn't into the show so much. I don't really remember, really liking it or following it that much, but the toys. Yeah, look at those toys. Remember the proton packs and where it was just a little thin piece of plastic that came out of it. They used to kind of twirl with your thumbs and go, doo, 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 doo.
I can't wait to actually dig these out for my son, because...
You still got these?
I'm an only child. My parents haven't gotten rid of anything. So I have all of these at home, at my parents' home. When I was looking through the Ghostbuster toys themselves, there, again, like we were talking about with the Turtles, so many variations of them. So here's the regular uniform lineup. Similar to the Turtles, each turtle had a color, right? They had a variation of green. Each Ghostbuster had a variation of their own uniform, only for the TV show and the toys that came after.
I remember looking at, you just showed me a picture of the 4 Ghostbusters, and they had those little slimers that you could fit over their heads, I think, and they were just made out of that one with the plastic.
Right.
Man, that just, to me, I just think of Christmas. I can just brings me back to, I got some Christmas presents, and oh man, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Remember the I forget what it was called now, but it looked like a purple or a purple glob of something, and it had one eyeball, and you could hit it and it would pop out. There it is. Oh my goodness, man. Look at all these.
This was the top to that.
The football player.
And he opened up, and that was a mouth.
I cannot believe that.
And
I totally forgot
one,
about the football player.
The toilet.
I don't remember the toilet at all.
I love that one because it was poop related. But you would slide it along, and the toilet lid would do that.
Oh, look at the monster too with the you could buy the ectoplasm, and it would ooze out of the nose. It was like a snot monster or something.
Fantastic.
Look at this.
Man. If you were a Ghostbuster toy fan, you should be in this room right now, because it's incredible to look at this stuff. I also had this series, the Monster series. So it was almost like the Universal Monsters.
Yeah, the Mummy. I remember.
So they had the glow-in-the-dark mummy where like the limbs would fall off, and the head you could show that it's shrunken underneath. The like the Quasimodo, the Wolfman. That was a really, really cool one. I think I played with that one the most. You just squeeze the legs together and you go, like he would cock himself back. That was a lot of fun. This zombie with brain shoots up and down. This Dracula was a lot of fun too.
Why didn't I keep these toys, man?
Well, sometimes parents went on a cleaning craze.
Yeah.
It seems like you and I on this episode are focusing more on action figures than other types of toys from this era.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I guess that's just where my mind went. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, when I was doing some research, like, for me, the 90s were where I remember the most of a combination of marketing, the wish books, television, and the desire at stores to be like, oh my God, I want that. Like, that's the era that I remember. But, for instance, an honorable mention, and if not tied for number one, I will say was my Power Wheels Jeep. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I had so much fun in that. It might have went as fast as the speed of smell, but it was so much fun to be in. I had the red one. It had the windshield that you could fold up, fold down with the windshield wipers, had a fake CB radio that you could tap into. And, like, it was so cool.
That's awesome.
And the battery would die, every 5 minutes. Yeah. And I was a chubby kid too, so I think I really pushed that to the limit.
Probably my favorite, most cherished Christmas morning memory of all time.
Yes.
Me and my brother raced downstairs to see underneath our tree GT snow racers, baby. Remember those?
Oh my God.
At the height. Remember at the height of GT snow racer, and like every kid, it was just basically a really cool looking, like, kind of toboggan slash. Look at that thing.
It was almost like a big wheel on skates.
Yeah, with the wheel that almost look. It's like they designed it to look like a BMX bike. And look at the suggested things, BMX.
Right.
But yeah, look how badass those things were, man. You'd fly down the hill and you'd build ramps to just sail off them.
Oh my God, yes. Pogs.
Yes.
I can't go back to the 90s without thinking of how wild the craze was of Pogs.
And also, it was like a weird jailhouse style bartering system that would go on in the playgrounds and in the fields behind the schools. You'd be like trading Pogs, or you'd fight for Pogs. You'd have battles with, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Some people would bust out like their huge wait, that sounds bad.
Their slammer.
Go up behind the school and bust out your huge slammer. But yeah, I remember people, they had different, were they called slammers? Mm-hmm. The weighted kind of discs?
I don't know how long I played Pogs, but I remember that whatever period I played them for, it wasn't for long, but it was the craze that I bought into. And that's a very memorable craze of, that school age, I'm gonna play this with my friends or with other kids that I don't know. Like, it's like playing dice or marbles, in an alley somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. It's that shady game, but it was getting so full blown. Like, there was collectability. It was a very cheap game, but your parents paid a lot for cardboard.
Yeah, definitely paid a lot for spends. Some cardboard had like holographic decals on it, different colors,
Oh, so that's how you sold it?
Exactly.
All right. Well done. Pog would be proud.
Special edition, Mom.
Which I'm going to lose next week at school because your son sucks. Number 2 for me was Batman.
Nice.
Just Batman.
Any Batman.
So when 1989 Batman came out, my Batman craze started. Right then and there. And I haven't gotten over Batman. I'm still a Batman fan through and through.
Yeah.
Mainly because his villains were so badass.
For sure. Well, I mean, iconic, right? Joker. Probably one of the greatest villains of all time. Still to this day, winning Academy Awards.
Twice now.
Yeah, that's true. 2 different actors have won Academy Awards playing Joker.
And in recent years.
That's weird. I didn't realize that.
That's weird, wild stuff. So yeah, Batman 89 toys. There were some really fun variations of those. Almost like you said about the sticker that changed color with your Transformers. There was a Joker that you dip his head in water and he would go from Joker white and green hair to Jack Nicholson flesh tone. And then as it dried, it would go back to Joker. Because in the movie, he transformed himself while he was in full Joker mode. Of course, the gadgets that came with it, because Batman had gadgets. Superman didn't need gadgets. That's why I don't like Superman. Superman is John Cena. Nobody likes him because he wins all the time.
He's Superman.
It's you know what? Even within that realm, to me, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe that someone's that perfect.
Yeah. As for just a completely human character, he is pretty amazing.
Yeah, because he's a crazy rich guy.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't have superpowers. He just has all the money in the world. He's the 1%.
What's your number one?
Number one, wow. So
already?
This is crazy. We actually might have a joint number one. I don't know. I was thinking about it.
I don't know.
No, maybe. Okay. Because when I was thinking about it, and I'm just thinking about pure joy in being a child and playing with, just a set, and collecting a set of toys, my number one is going to be WWF Wrestling Superstars.
Really?
Yeah.
I really didn't think that was going to be your number one.
Remember the ring, and it was made out of kind of cheap, thin plastic, and the rubber action figures, and you'd put them on the top rope, and you'd throw them down, you chuck them around, and they'd bounce around, and there was everybody's characters were in there.
My God, I really didn't think that you were going to go wrestling. Yeah, because that's my number one.
I told you, man. I knew it. I knew we were going to have a joint number one.
That's hilarious. Yeah. WWF figures, dude. They were great.
They were the best, man.
Now, I was thinking about it today. There was the first series of them. They were the big rubbery ones that didn't move. The ones you were talking about, right?
Maybe those are the ones I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so there was Hulk Hogan and, so on.
Just super rubbery, and you should wrap the arms around them and get them all into kind of crazy knots and just chuck them around that little ring with the little elastic bands of the ropes. And
that definitely I broke and tied together again. I definitely had those superstars of wrestling, sling them and fling them.
Yeah, sling them and fling. Yeah, I used to get them all jammed up in the ropes or use the ropes. I remember I used to do a slingshot and pull. Almost to see how far you could actually launch them across the ring.
Yeah, you'd have to get someone to hold down the ring while you stretched it to maximum capacity. Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. I'm so happy that we had a number one, and I thought I was the wrestling fan. But yeah, no, for me...
Well, that era of wrestling for me was, I kind of definitely fell off after that, but definitely holds a special place in my heart, those toys in that era of the WWF for sure for me.
On the Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us, they did an episode on wrestling toys. They talk about the deals that they tried to get and secure. But then the 90s toys were more my era. So, that's where we had the wrestling buddies. They were stuffed doll.
The Ultimate Warrior. My favorite... Actually, I'm going to go on record and say that the Ultimate Warrior is my favorite wrestler.
That's clearly my favorite. I've got 3 of them still in their packages. I've got DVD sets. I've got everything I could to salvage and keep here. And my son loves the Ultimate Warrior now.
When they came... I remember... I forget what year this was now, but they came here to the Forum.
Yep.
And they, my dad, I remember, managed to get seats kind of close to where they ran out,
right.
The hallway or whatever, and got to touch the Ultimate Warrior as he ran by. It was one of the greatest things.
Yeah, that must have been a quick touch.
It was because he races out, right. All right, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week where we're going to talk about our favorite video games from our childhoods. So, for Nostaljunk Podcast, I'm Kyle Smith saying, by the power of Grayskull!
And I'm Matt McGraw saying, feel the power of the warrior!